Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Deal of the Week. I am here with Jeff and Jenna, and they are out of Ontario, California. I myself is Jen Armstrong out of Transworld, Phoenix, and we're here to celebrate the recent closing of a plastics manufacturing business. Can you guys give me a little insight on what this business was all about?
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having us, Jen. Jeff and Jenna, again, out of Transworld Business Advisors, Ontario, California, the Inland Empire. This was a complex deal, but very rewarding, a family-owned plastics manufacturing business. Do you want to tell them a little bit more about how it came together?
Absolutely. So this business is a well-established customs plastics manufacturing and distribution company that have been family owned and operated for 12 years. They specialize in creating private molds using materials like PET and PC and serve a wide range of industries from pharmaceuticals to food and liquor and personal care.
Wow, it sounds like a great business. Why is the seller looking to sell?
So this was a family-owned business that was originally started by the father and son over 12 years ago. They built the company together, but now the father was getting ready to retire, and the son still was involved in the day-to-day operations and actually wanted to stay on working with the business, but he wasn't in a position to buy it. And there was also other family members that were working there that wanted to exit. So selling allowed them to cash out and bring in a new visionary to really lead the team. So it was really a great solution for everyone because the son got to stay on full time, gave the seller a lot of confidence knowing that he was going to stay, but bring in that new visionary and cash the father out so he could retire.
Okay. So we've got plans for the seller and the seller's family. Then how did you find the right buyer for this business?
Great question, Jen. So this was really a high traffic listing on Biz Buy Sell, and we got tons of interest on it, but we needed to find someone who had the experience in the field. So we had about 10 buyers and seller walkthroughs before we really found the right fit. Initially, the seller had it priced the business too high than our broker's opinion value, which tends to happen. So we had to work through some market feedback before we got some really serious interest. But the buyer we ultimately found had already been in the plastic industry, mainly focused on distribution, and they were really looking to actively expand into manufacturing. So once we connected, it became clear that this was a strategic acquisition. The buyer's operations align perfectly with the supply chain, manufacturing, and distribution of side of this business. And they saw the potential and were able to really come to terms with the seller on price and structure.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like they're a little bit of a managing this process. How did you guys go about doing that with the buyer and seller and all the intricacies of this process?
Yeah, this was definitely a labor-intensive transaction in terms of the communication for a couple different reasons. We had the father exiting, so he was spending less and less time on email and in the office. The son wanting to stay involved, but also taking on a lot more responsibility. We had a buyer that was in another state. They were in Washington State, where they owned multiple other companies, purchasing a company in California. So that made a lot of, communication to manage. But in addition to that, because we were in manufacturing, there were some large pieces of equipment involved that had leases on them that are also liens. And so we had to go through two different lenders as far as the leases were concerned to have the buyer actually assume those. So imagine like multiple lender transactions involved in this one closing. But Jeff and I are really, we really focus on clear communication, whether it's over the phone, over email, text message, creating spreadsheets and documents and checklists so everybody can just really stay on track.
That's great. So if we have some other business owners out there that are looking to sell their business in the Ontario, California area, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, yeah, if they're thinking about selling their business, wondering about the process, or even just want to understand what their business might be worth, we'd love to help them. They can reach us at our office at 909-552-7003. They can email me directly at jeffk@tworld.com, and we'll help guide you through the process and make sure that there's the best possible outcome.
I mean, every business has a story, and really what we love the most is helping people. Jeff's great at business evaluations. And so for anybody who's just curious and wants to hop on the phone and just start talking numbers about what their business might be worth, he's really here to help you. And I'm also a business coach. So if you're thinking more like strategy, processes, how long is this going to take? What should I do for exit planning? I can help you with that. But most of all, we'd just love to have a conversation.
Yep.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Congratulations so much on this closing, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen. See you next time.